Hello, welcome to Two Mates Race, and welcome to episode 3. Episode 3 is going to be all about stewarding, which is causes a lot of eruptions in sim racing. So we're going to focus this episode on stewarding, and of course, I'm with me good mate Ben Brown.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Yes, we're here to talk about stewarding and some other things, but mainly stewarding.
Yeah, we've got plenty of things to think about, to talk about and think about, and any input from you guys as well on the Spotify page is more than welcome. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask and we can pick them up. So if you do have anything to say, any comments, please feel free to have a little chat with us and we'll respond after this goes live. But first, Ben, we need to get rid of the elephant in the room, don't we?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different setting for this one.
It is.
Well, yeah, Jonny was here, so if I'm actually going to move the camera. Look, there he is. He's in the sim rig, and then I'm at the desk.
We're in the same room.
We're in the same room, so it does mean he has to put up with the things that are on my wall next to him. But yeah, and it has taken a bit of jiggery to get it working, but
we've got it working. There is so much going on. By the way, I've got the football on one screen, which is just here. So if I'm looking over here, I've got football on here. And then I've got Ben there, so I'm going to try not to talk. I'm going to talk to the camera and not talk to Ben. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. So we've got a really good episode. This is going to be controversial, I think, safe to say.
Probably, yeah.
We might upset a few folk. Some people might agree with us, but it is a big kind of red flag in sim racing. So Ben, stewarding.
Yes, so I attempted this last time we were talking. It is something that comes up a lot of the time when we're talking about our community and just in general with sim racing. There seems to be everybody thinks that they know how to steward. Everybody thinks they're in the right when it comes to incidents, and quite a lot of the kind of bad tempers and fallings out and just general bad attitudes come down to stewarding standards. So I thought it would be just a good thing to run through our views on. We've kind of categorized the 3 types of stewarding. I'm sure there's something else that we might know. Stewarding, I guess, is one. But we've kind of categorised.
Spurs have just scored, by the way.
Yeah, Spurs have just scored. So our Aston Villa friend isn't going to be very happy right now.
Sorry. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so we've kind of split them up into 3. So we've got in-game stewarding, which kind of is provided by the sims themselves. Sometimes their community, they have specific people who they have set aside to be stewards. And things like iRacing special events, LMU daily racing, things like that. We've got esports stewarding, which which we've got plenty to talk about, and then we've also got community-based and one-off stewarding, which relates more heavily to what we see at SimGrid and other platforms for communities and things. So,
and probably what we're well versed in.
Yes, we'll probably have more to say on that one than the other 3, especially esports stewards. So yeah. So should we crack on with in-game stewarding?
Yeah, I think in-game stewarding, and when we say in-game stewarding, it's the penalties that the game will give you, how strict they can be, how not very strict they can be, especially if you're playing, obviously single player. I looked at AMS2 for this one, for single player. Obviously, they have very good rules, but also have some very bad ones. But if you're racing online in sim races, it's the stuff we talk about when we say in-game stewarding is the stuff that we don't control as organisers. It's the in-game given penalties. And over the years, Ben, we've seen some shockers, haven't we?
Yeah. So someone's at the front door. I forgot to mute that. We're not even going to edit that out. That's going to stay. We've seen some absolute shockers. So we'll talk about the lack of in-game stewarding as well, and also some of the reporting things, but where you can report to some stewards, etc. But when you talk about in-game penalties being given, we have some really good examples of how to do it, first of all. So LMU and iRacing, both of them have really good points-based systems for track cuts. And although there's nothing there for collisions, apart from having to report, obviously, with daily races, the actual way it monitors track cuts especially is really, really good. Both of them are really good because the organisers can set up a limit. You know what the limit is going in. In general, you know a cut is going to cause a certain amount, and you can set it to your own stringency as well. I think that's a really key thing that we like to see, especially when we run events like the academy races, where you're expecting people to be cutting the corners more because that's just the skill level disparity, etc. That's something we always struggled with something like ACC.
Yes.
So ACC had we were running 24-hour events, and you got 4 track cuts.
Yes.
There was no way for us to change it.
No.
There was nothing we could do about that. The in-game penalties for speeding were pretty good in the pit lane, depending on how much you sped. But the real issue was the track cuts, and some of the track cuts were extremely harsh as well, weren't they? And that's where we go to AMS2 with some of the track cuts on there and what it does to you.
Horrific. Like some of them are. They have a track cut system that's the difference between AMS2 and ACC is you can actually set how many. If you're in a server, you can set how many you want. But they're just awful. Like ACC had a bit of if you had all 4 tyres kind of off outside the white line, you would get a track cut. Fair enough. That's the general rules of racing. AMS2 is a little bit more. If you look at a curb wrong, you can get a track cut. Yeah. And it just felt, and that followed over from the studios that made Project Cars 2. Had an awful system.
Yeah, had the same problem.
And if you dive up the inside of someone and you have a couple of tyres on the curb, you have to give the position back, which makes online racing AMS2 so difficult because you've got this big thing in the middle of the screen that comes up. You need to give the position back. The person might have dropped a position, or then you have to make the effort to slow down, which tends to cause so many more accidents, incidents, and it just has a catalogue of errors after that. And there's no real way to control it. And we'll get onto the community stuff kind of down the road, and there's ways you can combat that. The rules that we put in our community to combat these things, but when they're inbuilt to the game, it makes it really difficult. And it's actually the term of AMS2, it's now AMS2 things.
Yes, there is.
It's just an acceptance of it.
Yeah, and that's what we used to say about Project Cars.
Yep.
It was Project Cars 2 things.
Yep.
And although other sims handle overtaking off track slightly differently, LMU's is kind of similar, but not as strict.
Yes.
But iRacing doesn't have that, but it does have things like slowdowns and stuff,
yes,
which gives you an X amount of time to slow down, which I think is a much better way of doing it.
Yeah, I do.
Especially where the overtaking off-track or illegal overtake, if you're avoiding a collision and you go around someone that's spun in the middle of the track, it can give you a let that car past, which you're never going to be able to do because they're facing the wrong way in the wall.
Yes.
So that I'm glad that LMU seems to have got to the bottom of that, and to be honest, I don't mind the iRacing method of having slowdowns and things instead, because an automated system can never be 100% accurate when it comes to gaining an advantage and gaining a position. So I think that is the perfect way to do it. And we'll talk about, obviously, with stewarding and things like that, makes it a lot easier to have that manual input. But we do have to recognise that a lot of the sims are all automated.
Yes.
And for me, iRacing does it the best, apart from the collision 4X is a bit difficult. That's
never going to be perfect, but there's pros and cons with all of it. Like for me, and it's something I really do hope that LMU bring in. iRacing do it really well if you turn it on, if you're hosting a session. I haven't come across it so much in the dailies and things, but AMS2 does it really well. They have an inbuilt safety car.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like AMS2 is perfect. It works perfect. I'm talking it's
really good.
It's spot on. It's really, really good. If there is a car on its roof in the middle of the track, or it's had an accident and it can't move, that game triggers something and it comes out and it slows everyone down. It has clear instructions on the screen. and you follow it, and it tells you when it's going green again, and go. And if you follow it, the 90% of the people that go, oh, it's rubbish, I can guarantee don't follow the instructions that are clearly on your screen.
Yeah.
What do I do? Because they've never come across it before, or they don't understand it. But I think it's a really good system. I've seen it in iRacing. We had it in one of our Super Lights race, where the safety car come out, full course yellow, whatever they want to call it. AMS2 has a really good one where you can schedule it. There is a reason why that has come in, and they've tested it for so long, and I can't spoil it because I'm. But that's coming. That scheduled thing's really good. So there is things that are really good in game, but no one's quite done it all together perfect.
Yeah, the only perfect example is the different sims doing different things. So you mentioned the iRacing safety car and yellow periods on ovals are
fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Spot
on. And AMS2 nails their safety car.
Yep.
RF2's safety car was broken as hell, and
which has come across to LMU, hasn't it?
Which has seemed to come across. Because if you have delved into LMU, you will see that there is a safety car feature in there, but it's just not active because it is not working as they want it to be. But you're running back to in-game things. I think there's a variety of stringencies of penalties and all that sort of thing. But all of these also link back to platform stewards.
Yes.
So away from the automated stewarding, you also have reporting on some sims.
Yep.
So this was one of the big issues with ACC with their ranked was it was unruly. Let's just say
Monza dailies.
Yeah, Monza dailies. Absolutely unruly because there was no way of realistically reporting anyone. And obviously we understand that LFM is there, and LFM kind of aligns with the platform in-game thing. Although the standard of stewarding on there is interesting. But I understand why it's interesting because they have so few people looking at stewarding reports, and they probably get about 10 seconds to actually look at it and do the response. So I can kind of see why quite a lot of the time it can be a bit poor, but sometimes it's very good. But then you have things like iRacing special events. They don't get live stewarded, and so you can only report people afterwards. And then you see things like we were just talking beforehand, weren't we? You mentioned the 2 tyres on the grass thing.
It's horrific.
From last year. And then this year we had the fabled pro drivers acting like morons in a Spa 24 and ruining loads of people's races. That's where it becomes less acceptable. And that's where you have problems, and why iRacing has a bit of a stewarding problem.
Yes.
But I'm using iRacing as an example because they run the biggest events and things,
yes.
the biggest hosted events. They have a problem with there not being that live stewarding. Like the actual offline stewarding for iRacing is actually quite good. The reporting. Yes. Same with LMU. It's pretty good. You agree with the rules when you sign up to the platform to race online, and you accept them, and they are very tight on them. You know, they don't really leave any middle ground there. So I'm not too worried about the after reporting, but it's that lack of live stewarding is a real problem.
And I get it from iRacing's point of view. Depending on how many sign-ups they have, they might have 50 splits. You know, I get it, and you can't have a steward in each one, but there needs to be a team of stewards available in that race that people can submit to. And I think with the 2 tyres on Spa 2 years ago, and then this year's problems in that split in Spa, they didn't react until there was a pressure behind it.
Yeah.
Until it was all over social media, iRacing was being tagged, the communities were talking about it, drivers were talking about it. It gets through to the pro drivers and the influencers and then they went, oh, we're having a look at it. Oh, we've banned this team or whatever they've done. But there needs to be a way, whether you say, okay, we're going to have 50 splits this weekend. We know it's a big event. iRacing must have a group of 25 people that can have access to a sheet and just start doing them.
Well, either that, or if they don't have that, why not have they track instant points?
Yep.
If a team has hit 100 instant points in an hour,
Go and have a look. Why?
Go and have a look. Why?
Yeah.
I mean,
There must be a way they can access races,
be.
isn't there?
there must be.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying no. I'm of the mind that it's a special event. I'm not of the mind that they're going to be able to go through and do instants on every split and things, but because the system itself stops the more minor collisions. You know, if you cause an instant, you get the 4Xs and you get the damage.
Yep.
Then it's kind of cured itself.
Yep.
Not great, but it does it. But for those big ones where people are actively taking people out, racking up huge amounts of instant points, there are things that they can do to try and mitigate it. Because at the end of the day, iRacing is a paid service.
Yes.
And people put hours and hours and hours of practice in for weeks before special events.
Yep.
They pay. It's not cheap.
Well, you think
to
people
anyone.
pay thousands? If you had all that content, that's like $2,000.
Oh yeah, I checked how much
Yeah,
I spent on iRacing. It was depressing.
It's a lot of money, so you expect it to be high level, top quality. And there is so many things to iRacing that are fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
they are the top sim. They are brilliant. They are fantastic. They've brought loads of stuff in. They've expanded their base, but they just seem to get the fundamental thing wrong. And it's
I was about to mention something, but it was top split as well, and it was the Nürburgring Nordschleife
Yeah.
one this year where was it Team Redline? Was it
yes,
did the whole setup
Yes.
thing and then returned to garage and could have their car running lower for the whole race and all of that rubbish. And then
gotta
they
stop,
got
hasn't it?
yeah, but then they got kicked out after the event.
yes,
So they got DQ'd after the event for competition rules. I think. They
yes.
just referred
And
it
then
to
they moaned
competition
about
rules.
it.
And then
We
they
think it's
moaned about
unfair.
it.
Like, no,
Yeah.
no, you broke the rules. So
Yeah.
you break the
So-
rules. Granted, you know, it happens in. I'll use NASCAR for instance. It happens in NASCAR. You run a race, you win the race, but then you made an unapproved change before the race. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to get disqualified. That's just the way it is. You know you've made that change.
And that's the kind of link in. I think that one kind of sweeps us into esports because that is a very close top split of iRacing is quite close to you can effectively say that's esports level rather than the in-game
Yep.
stewarding. So unless you've got anything else to run through on the in-game stewarding,
No.
I think we've had it. I think our summary of in-game is different sims do it
Yes.
well, some sims do it badly, and the reporting systems for the most part do what they need to do.
Yes. They do. And you're never going to have a perfect system. Until someone creates a game that has all of the good things from all the other games rolled into
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
you're never going to get that, I don't think. So, you know, just accept for what it is. It is annoying, but that's what it is. But yeah, let's roll into esports stewarding, which makes me grumpy. Oh, we have a guest.
Hello.
Hello.
This is really
On a break. We're on a break.
So, yeah, esports stewarding.
He's just going to glaze over the fact because you are going to see that interruption.
Yeah. Anyway.
Esports. So
Makes me grumpy.
yeah, it makes both of us grumpy, I think,
So
and
awful.
it's difficult. I'm going to start. We've got a couple of points in front of us.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the first bit, or the next bit, which is just some poor decisions. So the reason that there's some poor decisions, and I understand why, is there's a lot of eyes on esports.
Yes.
And like you said before, Johnny, and I totally agree with it, that everyone's a steward.
Yeah, they are.
We'll talk about places like Reddit and stuff in a minute, but the amount of pressure that goes on esports stewarding
Yep.
is massive, and so I can see why some of the decisions happen. So my example is it was Silverstone F1 last month, and someone, I can't remember names of who was driving and all of that kind of stuff because I don't watch F1 or the F1
No.
esports too much, but they took the pit lane entry at Silverstone to cut the last corner on the last lap to win the race, which if you do that,
It's just automatic disqualification
yeah,
for me.
it's
It's just bending competition rules, isn't it?
The problem was the stewarding kind of had to justify what they were doing, and they to be fair, their rules weren't brilliantly written,
No.
and so they had to try and fit it into the outstanding anything against the
Yes, you have to use that. Every set of rules, even ours, have a get out clause.
Yeah, they have the get out clause. We do have the get out clause just in case, but we don't like to. I don't think we've ever really had to use the get out clause. We've had to use. Oh no, once.
And we'll get to that.
We'll get to that and why we had to use it.
Yeah.
But the problem there was that the amount of pressure that they were under to make a decision, and it didn't come straight away because it wasn't in the rules.
Yep.
And everybody then moaned about the fact that they had to kind of write it in, but it wasn't written in. It was a competition rule. It's a fair competition, and it goes against fair play to drive through a pit lane at pace to
the spirit of the
spirit of racing.
Yes.
But not the Aston Martins. The spirit.
No, we like that.
Spirit. But then you have other esports series. I think they dealt with it quite well.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but you had to draw a line somewhere. You couldn't let that kind of stand and then just write in a rule later. You had
to.
It is against the spirit.
It's literally you have to do it there and then, don't you?
Yeah. My problem is when a lot of the stewarding is over the top, and they are trying to hold esports to a F1 standard.
Yes.
I put it. F1 stewarding in real life is awful.
Yes, it's terrible.
Absolutely awful.
It makes NASCAR look acceptable.
It makes NASCAR look acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
There are certain GT series which they have the odd poor decision, and you can maybe argue that not all penalties are suitable, but that's just the way it is.
Yep.
But they try and have this F1 style of stewarding on all series. And it puts you in scenarios where you've got stupid penalties being applied to GT racing, club racing.
Yes.
Just because it's like other smaller single seaters and things, just because it's an esports series.
Yes. Very much so.
And it really opens up the places like Reddit.
The cesspit of stewarding.
The cesspit of stewarding decisions.
And their leader.
Now we're going to say we like Jimmy.
But he is the leader of the cesspit.
He is the leader of the cesspit.
He is.
Whether he wants to be or not, he's become the...
Stop doing videos on stewarding. Everyone thinks you're the Lord and Saviour of stewarding. You are not.
It's the problem. The problem is all leagues and things have different rules.
Yes.
And some of them are pretty clear. You look at a stewarding report and someone smashed someone off on purpose. That's a penalty whatever series you're in. But it's where you get down to these 50-50 incidents, and people are on Reddit commenting, not understanding what the rules of that series are.
Yes.
And what the mitigating circumstances are. Anything like that. They don't know what's been happening in the race. They don't the usual decision history. And this is especially prevalent with esports, where it just goes to social media and Reddit.
Yes.
And it's just everywhere. And people don't know the specific rule sets and all of this, and they're just commenting on it. And
that's the one thing that's annoying for me is then, if it is, like you said, if it's a community that have posted up on the cesspit that is our stewarding, they don't know the ins and outs, they don't know the rules. It then can give that community that has put time, effort, sometimes their own money, their own time to run these events for people to come and race for free, for the majority. They'll come and race for free, and it gives them a bad name.
Yeah.
But they don't know. They've never raced there. It's a horrible place to be, and it's just, I don't understand. We've had it a couple of times in oNiD.
Once.
That people ask. What my point is,
people asking.
We've had people come to us and ask for something outside of our...
Yeah.
And we'll give an honest opinion. And
that's right, yeah.
We had one this week. I had one, actually, with a guy, and I was like, yeah, you probably should have given a bit more room. It was a bit of a 50-50 racing incident. And he kind of was like, oh, okay, I didn't see it like that. And it was actually quite a grown-up conversation.
Mm.
But so many people on that, I keep calling it, it's a cesspit, it's horrible, that will just go and attack communities, attack drivers, without actually giving any decent feedback.
Yeah.
And then the Lord and Saviour Jimmy will get in touch with it, and he'll give his opinion on it. But it doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
He's seen it from his point of view. Now, he's a real life racing driver. We have come across a real life racing driver in oNiD, in Will, And Will actually says, well, actually, some of your community rules are actually stronger than what.
Yes.
Doesn't mean we're wrong. It's just the way we set up our community.
Yeah.
And it took him a little while to learn as well, didn't it? He just had to accept it.
Yeah, and
that's just what we did. So accept your punishment. That's our rules. You might see it differently. Other people you might race with might see it differently. But we've put so much time into changing our incidents and our rules and all this kind of stuff to come across, and we'll talk about it a bit more in detail. But they just have to accept it. There's no point whinging because it just makes you look a tit.
Yeah, and we've had a few like esports drivers take part in our events.
Yep.
And for the most part, they've been absolutely fine.
Yep.
And I think a lot of them recognise that we're not at that standard.
No.
And that's why our rules are written in that way, to try to mitigate just general not being an esports level sweat, as it were.
Yep.
But we have had one or two going, oh, this isn't how esports would do it. We're either being too. It's more often than not we're being too soft on people, actually.
Yeah.
And I get it, but at the end of the day, the community's community. Esports are at a higher standard.
Yes.
But I do feel really bad. I do feel sorry for a lot of what you class as esports drivers, because the scrutiny they get is ridiculous. We saw it with eNASCAR.
Yeah.
I watch eNASCAR pretty much every week, and now that the season's over, as it finished last week, and there was a notorious one earlier in the season where someone got parked for something that was really
not fair
because it wasn't 100%. We wouldn't have parked. No. We might have given them a penalty.
Yes.
But because it was not sure, we wouldn't have gone to the same degree. And whether you agree with the decision or not, at the end of the day, it's the steward's final decision. I'm not going to argue with the stewards. If that's in line with their rules, that's fine. But the amount of hate that they got coming towards them, both from people moaning at the driver, so the driver got a lot, and then the stewards got a lot as well, because they were going from the other side in support of the driver. It was just ridiculous. It was like F1 Twitter.
Yeah.
As it's called.
Yes.
F1 Twitter is the biggest cesspool than stewarding decisions, right? If you want to keep your sanity, just block certain keywords, because that's what I've done on my X account.
Yeah.
I don't really like X anyway, but I use it for a lot of the behind-the-scenes reporting on F1 and football. That's the main reasons I use it. Some of the stuff that gets suggested to me is just like absolutely. It's just hate.
Yeah.
And I do feel esports sometimes are over the top with how they do things, but then on the other hand, they're getting it from all sides, from a very toxic side of the sim racing community.
Yes, and NASCAR has a lot of loyal fans, even their eNASCAR.
Yeah.
But let's not forget that a lot of NASCAR fans are Southern State fans, and they're just as bad. The NASCAR Twitter and stuff, when people crash or someone's been involved in stuff, it's horrible. It's horrible. And these governing bodies that do real life stewarding, and NASCAR, the FIA, all these kind of places that do it, they have a really tough job. Granted, but they cannot be replicated in sim racing.
No,
it cannot. And just because you see something on Formula One doesn't mean it's so. So just because you see something in NASCAR or GT racing or motorbike racing, anything, it doesn't mean it's gonna. That's the rule. If you go and join a community or you do an online race, that's not going to be the ruling. It's people need to understand and accept. And and I'm going to be really frank, if you cannot accept a community's rules or the esports rules and they're stewarding, do one.
Yeah.
Don't race.
It's not the place for you.
It's not the place.
No.
We've had so many people whinge about things. I'm not racing here anymore. That's fine, mate. Off you trot. Go and find someone else you want to go and race with, and you'll have exactly the same issue. Because the issue isn't the community you're racing. The issue is you.
Yeah. There's a couple of really bad examples of stewarding on the sim racing stewards. Now, there's some. Obviously, we see some stuff, and it's like, how has the steward done that? And you get a lot of the background of, oh, that's an admin and he's his friend and all of this stuff.
Yep.
Okay, then don't race there.
No.
If that's we understand that can happen.
Yep.
But a good community, you wouldn't be in that position. Don't race there then.
My favourite.
But you don't need to just pile on them. And
Yes.
because if there's been a misunderstanding and it's not that, you're just assuming that it is.
Yes.
That's where the problems come. I realise we're talking quite heavily about community at the same time. We'll talk about community a bit more broadly in a minute. But
My favourite excuse is I've been an esports steward. That's
Oh.
my favourite opening line on any. I've been an esports steward.
we've actually had that.
Does it come with a twat badge?
Yeah, we've had that a couple of times. I don't know what esports league you were stewarding, but if you made that decision here that you want to make, you're having another thing coming. You're never going to race here.
Was it a
again,
Wreckfest league? No, I mean
No, it was not a Wreckfest league. It was most of them came from actually ACC Enduros. Actually,
yes,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Oh, God.
And we understand people get hot and heavy when it's Enduros because it can be a big thing and impact a lot of prep and things like that. But esports stewarding when it comes to
It's
the
somewhat
big
left to be
events.
desired.
Yes. I feel for esports stewards because
Yeah.
they're following a rule set that's kind of defined by trying to be as close to real life
Yes.
as possible, and it's
Real to me, damn it.
yeah. And if they're
Yeah.
trying to use F1 rule sets on drivers that even the top level esports, they will stick their noses in
Yeah.
because they don't have the fear. You haven't got. It's not the same. It's not
No.
comparable. And I know a lot of some sim races end up in real world motorsport. Like my favourite journey at the minute I'm watching is Jardier doing the Clios.
Mhm.
It's so good, right? And he's really realistic, like in his expectations and
Yes.
stuff. And he's kind of getting used to the way that the stewarding works and all of this stuff. It's really good to see. But he had to do a lot of in like real life driving to be able to get to that point because you don't have the fear when you're in a ring, when you're going around the ring
Yeah.
in a GT3 and you're going around Bathurst. Can you imagine the fear on that compared to, and you're not going to put your nose in on similar issues.
When you're in sim
Similar
racing,
places.
it's not your money.
Yeah, it's not your money.
It's not your team of stewards that you're going to have to answer to. It's
Yeah.
not your team boss you're going to have to answer to. It's, it will knock the, we see people all the time, I used to be a real race, or I've raced real cars and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, so that just gives you the right to yeet people out of the way because you feel like it. But you wouldn't do that if you were in your car because it would cost you a couple of grand to fix whatever bit you dented.
Yeah.
So
It just feels lose-lose when it comes to those
Yes.
like esports events because there's so many eyes on it.
Yes.
It's just like real world, and where you've got some esports series that let a little bit more fly, then that can often make it worse.
Yes.
Because that's how you end up with events that are kind of awful because everybody's like, oh, I can get away with this, and
Yeah.
they'll start doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there just needs to be, they need to crack down on the nonsense. They need to realistically think about the rules for each event. I know it's difficult. It's difficult when you're doing for iRacing. I get it's difficult because they do special events that are not just GT cars, not just hypercars. They'll do special events in NASCAR and stuff. But just have a rule set for each discipline. And we'll get it probably leads us actually nicely into community because look,
Yeah.
we're talking community. We've been there, done it. We're doing it. We're
Yeah.
not perfect at all.
Not at all.
The man, by the way, what a goal
that is.
Hit that, son. Ridiculous.
I shouldn't be watching the football when doing the podcast. But
We're not perfect, and the man you see on the screen, not me, has done a lot of work in our stewarding, and we've touched on it already. And that with our stewarding in the community, we've actually split it up into disciplines. So the rules will cover all bases, but actually the penalties you can receive for post-race stewarding, we've split into disciplines to not punish, like you said, club car racing. It's so close. If you're racing Ginny Juniors, for instance, and you're all half a second apart, bumper to bumper, if you give someone a 15-second penalty like you would in Formula 1,
it'd be ridiculous.
well, but they're at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Is that probably fair? No, it's not. So we've changed it. We've worked on it. We have a new system coming in. The big thing for me with communities is you work hard on making your own rules. They're the rules that you have made. You've talked through them, and it's an ever-changing system. We've changed ours 5 times, 6 times to get because things crop up that you might not have come across. you make your rules, and then as a driver, if you're going into a community, you accept those rules. By entering a race and choosing to race with a community, you accept that rule. You accept the guidelines, you accept everything. If you need to report something, you do it by the proper routes that you need to do, whether it be a reporting form, with video evidence, whatever that rule is. Ours is video evidence, little comment about what's happened, send it in. We'll give you, within 3 days, 4 days, we'll be back to you with a response, everything will be sorted. And then you have an appeal system. You need these things in place. But as a driver, do not come into a community and whinge. By entering a race, by entering a championship, you have read the rules that are available to you, and you are accepting of them. If you want to whinge, you can have a grown-up conversation and talk, but we can help you talk through the decision process we've made, or whatever. We've got a race director for that will happily chat. Don't go public and start whinging over things, because you just make yourself look a knob, and we'll call you out on it.
Yeah, because it's, as we say, if you race at a community, the first thing you have to do is you accept that the rules that are there. It's pretty much a standard across all proper communities. Pretty much every community that has a good event base has a defined set of rules that you have to go in line with. And that can be Discord rules all the way through to what happens when you cross the flag, not being an idiot when you cross the line at the end of a race, like not chatting and things like this. But the big thing is you've agreed to them. If you don't agree with a penalty, which is natural because sometimes you don't agree with penalties, we've had some really, really good interactions with people where they've come back after our stewards have made a decision. They've come back with some good points. We've overturned a couple of penalties, like every season there's a few that I'm sure we turn over with the new evidence that we can't see on what we're doing. Or you could have where the penalty stands, but it does show that maybe a rule that isn't quite fit for purpose, and that's where we make changes moving forwards. And a lot of these people who we've taken this feedback on are still racing with us now, because we can have those growing up conversations. I do understand that the community space does sometimes get tainted by some communities with some mental rules or some stewarding decisions that don't seem to make sense. But at the end of the day, we've had that. We've been in some endurance races because I know you don't do as many endurance races, but like me and a few others, we were doing endurance races every weekend at one point on ACC. And some of the communities that we bumped into, some of it was the stewards seem to have a different interpretation of their own rules, and then we just won't race there again. It's fine. And then some had really weird rules, and for like track specifics, I'm not going to name and shame, but there was some rules in a race that we weren't really aware of until we started the race, which came up in the driver briefing, and we were like, oh, okay, and so we didn't race there again. It's simple, and it's just another thing. If a community's full of people that don't know how to race, and you feel like you're not at that standard, you're at a too high standard, you're not going to race there again. It's the whole point of there being so many communities. You've got choice to be able to do it, and if you pick the right communities with the right levels of stewarding and good racing, then like both of us take part in events with other communities. Like I do positive perception every Thursday.
I'll race with them.
We've done TSRC as well.
TSRC,
just giving a few examples. Of,
QRT.
There are places that have been around for years, just as long as us. They're still there. But however big they are, it doesn't matter. Like we like racing. If we get the chance, we go and race in these places that we know have got good stewards, good communities. So,
and we're not going to be here naming names of who's bad.
No,
but there is places that, in my opinion, I don't know, Ben, you might agree. This is my opinion, that run too many events. Yes, you will have thousands upon thousands of people that racing your events. That's fantastic. You've got 10,000 people in your Discord, but you host 45 events a week, multiple splits. How are you going to? That's not community.
That's like LFM.
Yeah, it's not what you're doing.
And LFM is good in its own special way, because I did LFM for a long time.
Yes.
And I was just like, right, every week I'm going to set aside a couple of hours and do it.
But if you're a
But you
community, don't do that.
Yeah.
You
Your community
can't.
don't do that, because I'd bump into the same one or two people and I got to know them and chatting with them. But most of the time you're in with 90% of the people you don't know.
Yes.
And it's just like doing public lobbies or ranked lobbies
And
on other Sims.
This is the problem, I think, as well.
That's where the community aspect has to come in.
And that's hit the nail on the head, really. Racing with the same people in a championship each week. We've got people that have raced with us. I'm looking at the Alex Shahabis and Martin Thornton as well. That have raced with us since day dot. Know what we do. Know how people race. Yes, you'll always have newcomers, and it's fantastic that you'll have newcomers, but the core of a group will race together. And what you'll see is, and we see it across the season, don't we? Well, I'm going to use ACC for instance. Our first ACC race of a season, you would go, right, wait for the instants to come in. And there'd be 20, 25 instants come in for us to look at. And you go, hate the first week of championship. And you battle your way through them, and you give, the penalties that need to be given. Some don't need to be given penalties. You battle your way through. And as that goes through a 6 or 8 week championship, you will see that number come down and down and down, because you get used to racing people. And that was my point about your point as well. Community racing, you do see some problems, but you won't see that level of how many instants per race, because you're getting people used to racing with each other in a group. And that was my point on the few people that I've come across that are, yes, they might be bigger than us. There isn't many that are bigger than us at the minute, but they are bigger than us, but they host so many more events, too many events for them to be able to manage. And their turnover in community members and people that race in each race is massively high compared to ours. Because you'll get people that go in there and go, that was awful. How do I report something? Well, there was actually 5 or 6 splits, so we're not really, it's going to be difficult. And you're like, well, there's going to be no punishment, so it's going to happen the next week. It's going to happen the week after that. It's, and I'm going to be facing different people each week.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And then we'll leave. So yeah, you might have 12,000 people in your community, 10,000 people in your community, but how many actually keep racing?
Yeah, and it is a good point in that we see at the start of every season we get a good raft of new people joining up, and we probably have a 50% hit ratio for people that get involved and stick around, and then you have 50% that either don't get on with our rule set, maybe are a bit too quick, maybe they feel like they're a bit too slow or whatever for that, and they don't, or they just can't commit to the time for the championship, that sort of thing. That's all fine. Like we don't mind. You don't have to come and race here.
No.
Like if it doesn't suit you, it doesn't suit you.
No.
It's just one of those things of the way of building your community up is building that core amount of people, and we do have people that have raced here a long time. We have a lot of oNiD people that have joined the oNiD team so they can do endurance races together, and then we have people that we gather every year. Every season, we get more and more people in championships who stick around.
Yeah,
like we had a few joined through the NASCAR Oval stuff, and they signed up to all the LMU stuff afterwards.
Absolutely,
which is really good.
Yeah, and you get that.
And the same with the single seaters.
And
you know who you are.
You have to understand that communities are not going to get it right, and it kind of leads on to kind of what we haven't done a lot of recently, but we are very good, I think, personally. With I know oNiD's our baby, but without any bias, I believe we do the best live stewarding out there. Obviously, it's going to have to change for LMU. So anyone listening or watching, LMU is going to force us to change the way we do live stewarding. Not that we will do live; we will always do live stewarding for endurance races, but in what penalties we have to do, and so on and so forth. But I think we do it very well, and a lot of places don't. We've tried live stewarding weekly events. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it was very difficult because the problem with live stewarding the weekly events is they're inherently shorter races.
Yes.
And so if there is an appeal or we've made a mistake or whatever, you can't really make up for that later on in the race. The race is over by the time you get to that point. And we've obviously had that where we have for instance, when we assign a penalty in an endurance event, we assign the penalty and they get X amount of time to be able to raise it before they have to serve the penalty, that they can raise an appeal. And then while the appeal's going on, we remove the penalty.
Yes.
Which I think is a good way of doing things. But there are certain places which don't have appeals.
No.
Where actually for live events we don't request video evidence, do we?
No,
unless we've lost the replay or something like that.
They just all they have to do is give us a lap and a corner.
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
go and
So
look at it.
that's the different thing that we do with live. We've been in it before. We've done events elsewhere before where you're asked to basically recite the rules and put multiple videos up to report something in the middle of a race.
Right.
And
Time for that.
you can't do that
No.
if you've not got a second driver, and they don't use the live. We use like something like the contact stuff on ACC, which picks up contacts, so we can live steward stuff without it having been reported. All of these things are things that you can put into control and try and give as good service as possible. Basically, I think that's why we've always had a good uptake on our live stewarding. On our endurance events. And there are, I've done a couple with iRacing and some of the iRacing communities that maybe you might not see them if you're not on SimGrid because they're more baked into the iRacing.
Yeah.
But they're really good as well.
Yeah.
And they have really good systems. RCI was a good example when they had live stewarding for a bit.
Yeah, and actually that's a good point.
They have really good post live stewarding.
There is really good. There is. We're bringing it in, aren't we? We've hopefully.
Oh, you've ruined it.
Oh, am I ruining it?
Can I bleep that out? No, I won't bleep it out.
No, because
Go on, talk about it.
we are bringing in. Ben has doing some fantastic work with Dan Tomlinson. ACM spurred us on, didn't they? And RCI.
Yeah, big shout out to ACM.
Yeah, ACM and RCI spurred us on to have a system that was going to be better than a Google form. For stewarding and for appealing stuff and sending stuff in. Now, don't get me wrong, don't be a community that hasn't got anything. If you're going to be a community, Google Forms work just as well as anything else.
Yeah, if you set it up right, we are the perfect way that we can handle 100 or however many incidents a week.
Hundreds and hundreds.
And we manage it.
Yes, it is.
But it's just not the most visible for people all the time.
No.
And we wanted to come up with something that not only made the job easier for the stewards, but also, more importantly, made it as visible as possible for the people reporting it, so they can see the status, they can see the decision of their decisions,
potentially track license points.
Yeah, exactly.
All that kind of stuff. Because we have people go, how many license points have I got? Well, we were going to have a site for that.
Yeah.
we're going to have something where you can see all that information. And I think it's going to be really good. And I think it's ACM did it. We raced ACM in their career mode on very early days, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think both me and Jonny are of the view of we wish we'd have had more spare time to be able to do more of the ACM stuff, because we thought it was really good, and it's totally what a community should be about in terms of adding something to the Sims.
Yes,
you know,
it was.
They had a really good stewarding submission system, and we'd found the same with RCI when we were doing the RCI endurance series, where you might not always agree with their decisions, but the way that they put forward their decisions and the way that they show them, it was really good. And it they had a very specific rule set. But
I had one that was overturned because I had a steward look at it. I appealed it. Harry actually looked at it and said, "No, you're actually right. To be fair," and they overturned it. But that was all through their automated system, and I could see the responses, and it was really good. It was fantastic. That's a real big pro for them as well, and for communities as well. You know, they could probably bottle that and sell it. They'd make a good amount of money because it was a really good system. We're looking to bring that in, and at the end of the day, with our stewarding, we're not perfect. We don't pretend to be perfect either,
No.
and communities don't pretend to be perfect. Don't think you've got the best system out there, because you will get found out all the time. We get found out. Someone will say to us, "Well, that's actually not in your rules," and you go,
that's a good point.
"Good point."
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get rid of your penalty this time, but we're going to add it to the rules now because you've raised it. So it's an forever revolving door. Try and get that out. Forever revolving door. That's quite a good mouthful.
Because we're just using ourselves as an example, because we do live stewarding and one steward looks at a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the future for our post-race reporting will probably be one,
Yep.
maybe two stewards looking at it, because currently we have anywhere up to 5 stewards looking at every single thing, and it does say a lot that even they can disagree, even with how many rules we've got in place and how we control what. We have quite a defined workflow for incidents for working out what the penalty should be if it's deemed as a penalty.
Oh, you just triggered me, mate.
What workflows?
Workflows, what I use. We've got a workflow at work, and it's been horrific recently. So it's just triggering. That's all.
It's just like my job in real life. To anyone that knows what I do in real life.
Triggering.
But even then, you can see it slightly differently. I'm not talking like they're getting it between not being a penalty and a penalty, but the actual severity of the penalty is subjective sometimes.
Correct.
So it's just natural that if you get a penalty from a community, and you might just question it and things, but it's down to the community to manage their own rules. And this is the point. I'm not going to try and defend communities that have woeful stewards who just don't care or just slap penalties and anything. We're talking about proper, open communities where you feel part of the community and can actually have a conversation.
And with my oNiD hat on, obviously we're talking about stewarding and communities, and obviously I'll always do from an oNiD point of view as well. We've always been found a little bit wanting on time frames, so this new system is to increase the better time frames.
Because
you'll be able to see your penalty.
Yeah, because it's difficult because everybody associated with oNiD racing and obviously other communities as well, they're all volunteers. Even a lot of the people who do LFM, they're all volunteers. So the turnaround times are always, I know people want a response as soon as possible, just trying to minimise the steps to be able to put out as many good instant responses as possible while not taking up volunteers' time, because it is quite a large time sink. Doing, to anyone that knows us and how many stewards and things work in the background for our endurance events, for the 24-hour event we had the stream going for 24 hours, so we had about 12 people, and then for stewards we had about the same for the full 24 hours, obviously on rota going all the way through, and it's a lot of time. A lot of time. And that's why if you see us when we had to cancel one endurance before, unfortunately, and it was just because the amount of sign-ups didn't justify. It wasn't going to be a fun experience for the drivers, and the amount of time that we were putting in behind the scenes just wasn't paying off. No. So I think that kind of brings us. Are we done with stewarding? We've just talked about stewarding for an hour.
We have, and I think it brings us nicely. The final sign-off from me with stewarding is respect your stewards.
Yeah.
If you're in a community, respect the decisions, respect the people running the place. Feel free to question. Feel free to have an opinion. Do it in a way that's not a troll. Do it in a nice way and accept your punishments if you do one. Accept the rules that you sign up to, and go and enjoy your community racing, because communities keep games alive, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you look at it, they do. So be nice to us, please. Sim racing things. Let's talk sim racing. We do it a lot, don't we, Ben? So
yeah, occasionally.
A lot has happened this week, to be fair. A lot of new game announcements, update announcements, sneak previews, gameplay trailers, Sim Racing Expo that's going on as we speak.
Yeah, and we're very jealous.
Yeah, we are, especially when we saw people there from oNiD and we're not there. And damn Europeans. The biggest news of the week, the biggest news for me and you this week was the gameplay trailer and more details of Project Motor Racing, which is gonna be sweet. It looks amazing.
Please.
It just looks so good. They've obviously announced some new tracks. They did a gameplay trailer of an onboard in one of the Celine cars, which looked incredible. They've announced their true to track system, which is going to be an evolving track system that's got weather and all kinds of stuff and how it's going to work. So it has all the gubbings to be good and all the promises of being good. Obviously, we're about a month away from release.
Yep.
It's going to be really, really good. And tracks, Ben. I know you spotted a few, and you were excited definitely about one of them at least.
Yeah, so they've confirmed quite a few tracks, but then in the gameplay trailer it was picked up. There was 4 different tracks there. It was Imola, Mid Ohio, Daytona, and Red Bull Ring.
Yes.
And Mid Ohio being on there is brilliant because I'm pretty sure iRacing is the only sim with it on at the minute. There might be another one somewhere.
I think there's an AC mod for it.
Is there an AC mod?
Yeah, I think there's an AC mod for it.
But I absolutely love that track. It's fantastic. It's getting a bit of play time. And to be fair, they've really done quite a good job of balancing out the tracks you'd expect to be on there, and also some lesser used tracks that obviously we've used. Maybe we've used on iRacing, or even we've had to use AC mods for and things.
The likes of Daytona.
Yeah, the likes of Daytona.
Yeah, fantastic. Going to be a brilliant track. You couldn't have a GT endurance type game without Daytona, really, could you?
Yeah, exactly. And they've come out with details this week around the modding, which looks interesting. How that works on crossplay, we're kind of waiting to see how that works on crossplay. And obviously the true to track weather evolving track stuff looks really interesting as well.
Amazing.
If they've got that right, then fantastic.
Gonna
and
be
they
awesome.
had the onboard trailer where you got to see not just the car control and the noise, but also how the AI's reacting as well, which looked really promising.
Yes.
So all in all, I think it was a really good week for them in terms of marketing side for the sim, and we're really excited from a personal point of view, not just because of how good it looks, but also the options that it's bringing up in crossplay.
Yes.
Which I know we talked about previously, but the mixture of crossplay in means that we can engage the Xbox and PS5 side of oNiD alongside the PC side, which is really good.
We're going to be able to do with NASCAR 25 as well. We'll get to NASCAR 25, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, you're right. It's going to bring two sides of oNiD that have been very separate for many years and bring them together in a game that's going to be looks fantastic, promises many things. And there was a point I was going to make about Project Motor Racing, and I can't remember what it was. What was it? Oh, and that was it. For someone a bit like, I don't know about you, Ben, for me as well, I kind of like the single player option, and it promises to have a really good career mode.
Yeah, because that's something that gets overlooked a lot. I think the only career mode that I'm looking forward to at the minute is the AC Evo career mode, because it's a mixture of what you kind of see in Forza, but then also obviously more sim based. So that looks really promising. But from a PMR point of view, it looks like. Do you remember?
Project Cars 2.
Project Cars 2. I was thinking Project Cars 2 campaign, or even the grid ones.
Oh,
now I know grid obviously is not it's very arcadey, but the career mode stuff in that was really good.
Yes, it was fantastic. Had Le Mans on it as well.
Yeah, it did. And so even like Grid Auto Sport, was it?
Yes.
Which was the third one. That had a really good career mode on it as well. So AMS2's been my go-to for if I just want to drive in a random car.
Yes.
I just boot up AMS2 or AC and find the mods, and I usually end up on one of those two. I think PMR might take that mantle for a while, where there's just a range of cars that it's got on there. Some of the old school GT cars I'm really interested by, especially like the 90s, early 2000s GT and prototypes that they've been kind of queuing up.
The interesting thing from a PMR point of view and from a community point of view is we're not entirely sure how, obviously they've released how their dailies are going to work, which I really like the discipline side of things that they've brought in. So you are going to get a bit like iRacing, I suppose. You get your rank for that discipline, so you can just hone in on one discipline, or you can move across, be mediocre like me and many. And I really like that, but we don't know how it's going to run for communities. And what we don't know, and what they haven't said anything about, is are we going to have driver swaps? Are we going to have the ability to be able to have team racing? I think if it's a really good success, and they can, because obviously they've got an engine that runs Farming Simulator. For what, it doesn't run anything else. It's the Farming Simulator engine. If they can get a driver swap system working on that, that is really good, then we have a potential to do a really good thing with
some
it.
interesting events that we
Yes.
can come up with,
And-
because we've been hankering for team events but since we stopped on ACC, and we noticed the
Yes.
dip in ACC attendance from after we finished the Abruzzi Championship. We kind of figured that was the end of ACC in terms of endurance races. We've had the idea of, we've got the backup of iRacing, but we really want something like LMU or PMR to come in
Yes.
and get the team swaps on, so we can start the driver swaps, so we can start doing those things again. And I think the main thing we're waiting for is just an understanding of how the servers are going to work.
Yes.
In terms of being able to host races, the admin controls over the races.
Yes, that's a big thing for us, really.
Because that's we have it from both sides, where we have via GridLink we do the AMS2 races, which has taken a long time to get to where it is now, but that's a totally different way of hosting servers than say ACC or LMU, where like LMU's a really good process because it goes through race control. So
AMS2 fans, look out on Thursday. That's all I'm saying. And if you're doing this after Thursday, enjoy.
Yeah, but that's the main thing we're waiting for now, I would say, because I realise we've got it later in our little discussions and things, but there's a couple of sims coming out, and this is the only one I'd say that realistically, outside of LMU, has team stuff coming.
Yes.
We don't really know about AC Evo yet either, so
No, and the AC Evo side's gone really, really quiet. We'll wait to see on that. A little plug for PMR as well. If you go on Loaded, is it, which was formerly CD Keys, you can actually get PMR and the year one bundle for 46 quid at the minute.
Oh, right. Oh, I know what I'm doing after this then.
Which is really cheap. So you know, go and get it, because the DLC that's coming in the first year, I imagine, will be significant and very good. So for 46 quid, I think the game on its own is 25 quid on Loaded at the minute.
Very good as well, anyway.
But yeah, for the year one bundle, to get for 46 quid to get all the DLC for the first year is totally worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on then to from moving away from PMR, obviously we had the release of NASCAR 25 on consoles this week, which has had, apart from an initial issue with the force feedback on the Xbox, potentially, I think it was Xbox, has been received really, really well. Been really, really well received within oNiD. I know they've done some racing already on it, and they're really looking forward to doing some leagues on it. Obviously, it comes on PC, I think middle of November. But the feedback we've got from it is incredible. I think everyone's loving it. It's not as simulator heavy as what it is on iRacing. I think pit stops are you cannot do pit stops.
Yeah.
It's literally, there's a yellow flag, would you like to pit? And it does it for you.
Yeah.
Which is, we did that on NASCAR Heat, and it was actually fine when we were doing racing. It was really good. It actually takes away from it, but you still have to make that strategy call. Do I pit now? Do I not pit now? Can I handle my tyres? So you still get that strategy call. But it's been well received, and it's got that cross-play coming as well with the PC. It hit SimGrid and SGP this week as well as manual input for results. So it's got some community support already. It's not servers, I think it's peer-to-peer lobbies.
It is, yeah.
Custom lobbies. So that's why the manual input thing on both SGP and SimGrid is great. They've got that there already. And yeah, from the looks of it, I've seen some hilarious videos of people not being able to oval race. But it's good for NASCAR. It's probably their first big release since a disastrous one that was done by Motorsport Games. So really good to see it back on the market. There's definitely been an uptake in NASCAR in the last couple of years. So
I think it's been good. The main things are, it's been good because it wasn't billed as being very simmy.
Yes.
It was billed as being more user friendly. So a mixture between arcadey and simulator, which I think is the right play when you're talking about the console market, especially with trying to integrate people with controllers and things, which has always been a big thing with Forza and Gran Turismo, the levels of people using controllers on those things to make it as easy as possible for them to do it. Obviously, it's highlighted online. Some people don't understand how to oval race, and that's the problem with, I think the main problems with the online daily racing is it doesn't have the same barrier to entry that iRacing has of cost.
Yes.
You literally just have to buy the game and you can access it all online, and that's exactly what we've seen with other console titles where you don't have to you don't have to. It's the same actually with just simming. I was thinking of ACC there as well.
Yeah.
You get quite a few people maybe that just don't care, and they're just there to cause havoc and do whatever. So that's where the community side comes in, and if they have a more ranked side as well, that's where that will come in as well. So excited to see what that comes to, because iRacing look like they've managed to release a game that 95% works on release, which is a bonus for the last 2-3 NASCAR games, especially the last one, which had some pretty significant issues at release.
And you think of the content you get with that as well. So you're going to pay 50-60 quid for NASCAR 25, but actually you get 4 series. So you get ARCA, Pickups, Xfinity, Cup. It's got a fantastic career mode where you start in ARCA and work your way up.
That's awesome.
Think of how many tracks they race as well, and how many, it's not just the tracks that the Cup series go to either. It's the ones that the ARCA series will go to, the Pickups will go to, because they go to slightly different tracks. Like, for instance, Lime Rock Park, or more racing at North Wilkesboro, So you're going to have not only the best part of probably 20 ovals, I would say. You're probably going to have quite a few road courses as well. I know Chicago's on there. I think Mexico's coming. I don't think it's on there yet, but I think that's coming.
I think they have laser scanned it, I think, from what I was reading,
So you've got loads of road courses as well, Sonoma and things like that. So got a nice mixture of stuff. I think it'll actually be a really good, fun, a Friday night type of, get your mates together and do some NASCAR racing. I suppose for us, it's not going to be the point. It's not going to be the top point of oNiD. It's not going to be it's not going to be
it's a nice community feature.
Yes, it's going to be nice. Let's go and do some NASCAR, and we'll have a little championship. We'll do some ovals, do some road courses. I hope it all works really well, and I think it will. So it looks promising for that. Obviously, a bit more on sim racing, LMU team stuff. 3 races got released, testing the team. So 3 official races came out this week. So I think we've got Spa 12, I believe, on the 23rd, 24th, 25th of October, so next weekend. We've got the 6 hour of help. Can't remember the 6 hours. Bahrain?
No. Yeah, it might be Bahrain. I think it is Bahrain.
6 hour Bahrain, and then
I was going to say Fuji, but I don't think it is. I think you're right. I think it is Bahrain.
Yeah, so then 3 weeks' time, 6 hours Bahrain, and then you've got the 24 hour of Le Mans in November.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Now we were talking about this at Paul, weren't we, on Wednesday? I think they've delayed, they're bringing the hosted endurances back a little bit. They've delayed that a little bit, and they've delayed the engineering role as well. And I think these 3 races are going to be big test beds for them features and how they get on.
Yeah, I think custom team lobbies will be in probably by the end of the year, by the look of it. And then I think, given what they stated around the engineering side, the race engineer side, where it just needs some redo on the coding and things, I think that'll probably fall into next year now. But that'll be huge when that's there, because that's something that's iRacing's been the only sim that realistically has a good race engineer. So to have something like that where your team can change your stops and all of this sort of thing is exactly what we need in terms of sim racing team events. So yeah, we were just really excited to get cracking. We've started to get a bit impatient with it, because we haven't run a endurance race in 6 months.
Yes,
and that is the thing that we think, we most enjoy. I most enjoy, and I think a lot of our team who like doing work in the background in hosting these events really like doing it as well. So
just secret squirrel note for anyone who listens to this, they're going to get the scoop first. There will be an iRacing endurance before the year's out.
Have I forgotten about this?
No.
Oh,
so I was talking to a couple of people with an oNiD. We haven't done an endurance race, so I was thinking let's maybe do a production car one.
Clio's at Brands.
I was thinking production cars at Virginia.
No, Lime Rock.
You can't do
Brands.
Lime Rock. That's disgusting.
Yeah, short as possible. Carnage.
So there will be, I think, as part of our, because obviously the championships will finish for the year in the first week of December. So we're going to try and get a date in the diary and have a little endurance race, whether it might only be a 4 hour, 5 hour, 6 hour, something like that. Just something different because we haven't had one.
Yeah.
I know LMU intend to bring this stuff towards the end of the year. I would think it will come with more on the ELMS update.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're aiming to get that out kind of back end of November. So
yes, we have 2 more parts of the ELMS, don't we?
Yes.
So
there is more coming with that. Hopefully the Janetta LMP3. So there is something coming. Hopefully on iRacing. We've just got to have a few more discussions. So that'd be really good, having team events, getting LMU up and running. Like you said, having an endurance championship. We probably won't start with an endurance championship, but we'll probably start with 2.4s, didn't we? Just kind of get people in pairs and getting used to how it works. So that's coming. A big shock from the Sim Racing Expo. No one saw this coming. Was it Thursday, Friday?
Thursday, I think it was, yeah.
No one saw it coming. All of a sudden, Kunos went, here, have a rally game, which is coming in November. We were like, okay, so AC Rally's coming.
So yeah, this is a different development team to what's been the team that's been working on AC Evo and was working on ACC. I believe it's based in their own engine as well.
Unreal 5.
Is it Unreal 5?
It's basically, here, have the code for ACC, make a rally game, thanks.
Yeah. So they said this has been going for 4 years. They've had a different team working on this for 4 years, and it kind of timed perfectly for them, given that Codemasters have given up with the WRC stuff. I don't think it's not going to be WRC licensed, which I don't care about, because Dirt Rally wasn't WRC licensed, and that's probably the best rallying game that I've played that I've raced in 5-10 years or whatever.
Fantastic.
So this is great news. I know Stevie's excited.
Yeah, it means
oNiD Rally Club can have something else to go on instead of just doing WRC events at the minute. So it'll be interesting when we get some more details around timescales, and I don't know, maybe we've missed something today. I can't remember if there's specific timescales or anything, but I saw a few streamers and stuff posting up videos of them having a go, and it looked really good.
Yeah,
so it's natural. Like my thing is now though, they've got AC Evo, ACC, and AC Rally on 2 different engines, and
do you know why?
Just combine it.
Someone asked me the question.
Just have one platform.
Why have they created
iRacing?
Why have they created AC Rally? And I think the simple thing is they've had it in the pipeline. I think they were going to try and put it on AC Evo.
Yeah.
I think AC Evo has caused more problems than they thought it would.
Yeah.
I think their engine's not as good as they thought it was. It's going to be great once it's up and running and everything's perfect and they've got it all sorted. I do think this is we've got this game. We've been working on it for a few years. Let's go and put it on Unreal 5, which was the ACC engine. Let's go do that. Let's release a game and let's go and quick win. Let's go and get some money so we can put this money back into AC Evo and try and speed things up a little bit. And I think AC Evo's caused so many problems. I think they're at risk of losing a player base.
Yeah.
I really do think they were in trouble. I think people have been waiting for this game for so long. We were told 2025 would be the year. Yes, it is the year. It's came out. What can you do on it?
Yeah, realistically.
It's like, here, have a server. Great. We've got, for 3 days, we had a few people in a server, and now it's dead. It's completely dead. So the timing is perfect for them. Bring out a rally game, get people racing. Let's go and make a quick buck, and we can put it into AC Evo and try and speed things up. It's great for people who like rally go. For me, I couldn't give a toss, but great for the oNiD Rally Club, great for Stevie, great for people who love all the rally, and it's really good.
It'll be interesting to what functionality they've got in there to support not necessarily multiplayer, but definitely time trials and things.
Yes,
will be the key thing. So we'll wait and see what comes up from that. But to be honest, it looked promising, and if it's based on the same engine on Unreal 5, and I missed that, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
To be honest, they've got a lot of experience running that engine. Obviously, it's a different development team, different development house, so it's not under Kunos.
Yes.
It's under an external company, but yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that one goes and when that's expected. I'm assuming it'll be starting next year sometime.
No, November.
Oh, is it November?
Early access November.
Oh god. Bloody early access.
Can't remember the date. 28th, maybe something like that. Early access comes. I think it comes on the Friday of the 24-hour Le Mans.
Oh, okay.
So I believe that it comes kind of then, and like I said, perfect timing for that Christmas rush. People want to get the rally in.
Well, people like me taking a day off work to play PMR though.
Yes, I might be sick that day.
It's a Tuesday though.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the sim racing news. It's been a good week. We've had some good events in oNiD. We're on our mid-season break. Season 6 starts next week. Looking forward to that. So if you're not involved, come and get involved. We've got ACC's back.
ACC is back.
ACC is back on a Sunday. The call for it, apparently there is a call for it still, because we've got 35 people, 36 people
something silly,
signed up for a championship, which will be great. Some new folk coming in as well, new teams, so that's going to be great. LMU's stacked. I'm the new academy head coach, God knows how.
I feel sorry for the academy, to be honest.
I feel sorry for the academy too, but I feel sorry for Dean.
Yeah.
It's going to get tons of grief. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to starting season 6. So that's pretty much it for the sim racing news. We have just got a couple more points before we leave you beautiful people. It was someone's stag do 2 weeks ago.
I'm pointing that way because he's over there, but actually on the screen he's this guy.
So we ended up... you were given a brief, wasn't you? And
yes.
Basically the brief was, I want to end up at a racetrack, and my best man did just that. And we ended up at Brands Hatch for the BTCC final. And Ben, it didn't disappoint, did it?
No, it was cracking. I think it was the first time both of us have been to Brands.
Yeah,
and
place.
It was exactly how I imagined it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Great to see so many people there as well. It was really busy finale, great racing. We saw some really good stuff in the support series, and then we saw Tom Ingram obviously wrap up the title in race 2, which was fantastic to see. And yeah, we saw Nick Tandy in a mini win a race.
The mini.
Winning a mini race. We saw an upside down mini.
Yes, we did.
But the racing in touring cars has just been so good all season. It's so close.
Yeah.
So well done to Tom. But yeah, there was quite a few of us there. Quite a few of the party were of the oNiD racing variety as well. So it was really good to have everyone together and had a really good time.
Anyone who's not been to Brands should go.
Absolutely.
Where we were stood, you could see Paddock Hill, you could see Graham Surtees, see him go down the back, the straight out into the woods, would come under the tunnel. You could see so much of the track, so much of the battling. Really good place, really accessible as well, wasn't it? It was, you parked in a car park and you walked into the entrance, and if you wanted to pay
5 minutes,
if you wanted to pay a tenner, you can go and park on the mound.
And if you wanted, I think the main thing, we didn't obviously go and get grandstand tickets.
No.
I can understand why some people might want to, because the view on the main straight stand, for instance, looked really good.
Yes.
Where you can basically see most of the track from
Yeah.
up there. So really good. But it was nice and busy. We had a really good spot up on the hill above the last corner, and we just had a great time. So that made it 3 tracks for the year for me. I think it was
1, 2.
I did go to Donny for something this year, so
Yeah,
you went to Donny.
Did we do Donny this year? I don't think we've done Donny.
I don't think we went together. Did I go for that club thing this year? Or was that last year?
No, we went to Silverstone for the GT Cup.
Yeah,
we
we
went
did
to
Silverstone
Silverstone.
GT Cup for NELMS.
Yeah, I did Silverstone for the BTCC, and then did Brands for the BTCC.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done 3 tracks. Next year is the plan to do Alton. I think Alton and Snet are my wins for next year.
Alton and Snet are on there, definitely Snet. And we don't know whether we're going to go touring cars, depends what weekend the touring cars is on, and we might just go and watch some club racing at Snet, to be honest, because that'll be good fun.
And maybe an oNiD meet up at Brands.
Yes, we are planning a bit of an oNiD meetup.
Yes.
And to be fair, we're going to be a bit more public with where we are and what we're doing, and push it a bit, because we do know that members of the community want to come along and meet up and stuff. And we've had some really good meetups in the past, so we're gonna be a bit more visible over where we are and what we're doing. So
the oNiD meetup will go public. Dun dun dun.
Yes, it will go public.
And I suppose the final point, and it would be, I've done well. I've got to episode 3 without mentioning the NASCAR Championship, real life championship at all.
Don't get me started on the joke of the playoffs, because I will be here for half an hour talking about how shit the
But they did announce that more horsepower on road courses, more horsepower on short tracks is coming for next season, which will be great. I think this will be the end of the playoffs this season. I think we'll see a 36 race point structure going forward,
thankfully,
which will be good. I don't mind the playoffs, but that's just me. But Denny Hamlin winning his 60th race.
Yeah.
Not a bad effort.
Not
good
bad
old
at all.
Denny. Did a really good job last week, and I don't know if you caught the end of the race in Vegas, but the last 15 laps, he had a car that was quick all day, but he couldn't get to the front, and then they made a couple of changes in a yellow flag period, and all of a sudden he just drove past everyone like they weren't even there.
Yeah.
Which was really good to see. Denny getting a little bit emotional as well. But we head to Dega tonight. Big super speedway. A lot of the drivers hate having a super speedway in the kind of round of 8
because it's just so random.
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Can happen.
Yeah.
All it takes is one small crash at the front, and you've suddenly got the big one at Dega. So
yes. And if it was anything like the Xfinity last night, you'll have 2 big ones because they're clumsy.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
You said there'd been a couple of reds.
There was a couple of reds.
I'll be watching that later.
But then we've got the Cup Series tonight. Obviously, Denny's punched his ticket to the Championship 4. Joey got into the round of 8 by the skin of his teeth.
Where's your T-shirt?
I'm not wearing my T-shirt. It's a dick. They made me wear Joey Logano stuff on my stag do. Thank you, guys. If anyone doesn't know me and is listening to this, I can't stand him.
Have you burnt them yet?
No, I haven't burnt them. I believe Bees washed them. I was like, what are you doing?
Excellent. Always happy.
So, yeah, and it's going to be interesting tonight. It can make or break your NASCAR hopes. Obviously, Denny's already there, like we mentioned. Quickly before we go, NASCAR champion for you?
Denny. Just because I think he's the most consistent across the season. I don't think he's been the quickest this season. I think that's pretty evident. But he's done well to keep himself out of some big incidents.
Yes.
The only one I can think of is where he put... who did he put up in the wall and then got undertaken on the last...
Bubba.
He put Bubba up in the wall, wasn't it?
And Chase Elliott beat him.
Yeah, and Chase Elliott beat him. I think he's probably the 3rd or 4th quickest across the season, but I think he's been the most consistent in keeping out the wrecks. So this is my problem with the playoffs, and I'm not going to get into it, but it is kind of luck based. When you get to the final 4,
you look at Connor Zilic, won 9 races this year, and in the Xfinity, and he could still go out.
Oh yeah, I was going to say.
It's like, really?
And he's ridiculous.
Oh. Villa scored.
Spurs are rubbish.
Lol, Spurs.
But that's my issue with the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you look at how good somebody posted up the points table. Did you see that?
Van Gisbergen would be 14th.
SVG would be 14th, but more importantly, you'd have 2 at the top tied on points right now.
Yeah,
and that's how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
And I know IndyCar had a bit of a one-sided season with Alex Palou absolutely smashing everyone.
Yeah.
But then you look at F1, and I know you don't watch F1, but the championship fight is excellent.
Yes.
Right now. So,
I think
I've been burned by previous playoffs as well. And I don't think it's the best. I would make the argument that I don't think it's the best for more casual watchers.
No.
And for people new into NASCAR, trying to explain to them
this system.
The playoffs is...
Well, look, I got burned last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was. When Bowman knocks Logano out of the round of 12, Bowman gets a penalty because of a lowered car. Joey gets into the round of 8 and then wins the championship.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have even been in it. But I think this year, if Denny wins the championship this year, he retires.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he does another. But I'm going to go outside the box a little bit, and I think Christopher Bell's going to win it.
Which, given his form, especially his early season, wasn't it, where he had a couple of wins?
He would be right up there in the championship
he would
talking.
be.
So,
yeah.
I think I'd like to see Seabell, the 12-year-old as I call him.
I like Larson, but I know you don't like Larson.
Larson's just underneath Logano.
He's like on the points breakdown. He was like third or fourth, I think.
I think Denny was like sixth. I think
Denny.
I think it's like Christopher Bell, Byron.
Yeah.
Kind of at the top.
Chase Elliott somewhere up there as well.
Yeah, Chase Elliott's really good.
To be fair, I'm really excited for the next couple of seasons of NASCAR because they've kind of got the static car now where they're going to make a couple of tweaks to it, but not too much.
Yeah.
And the competitiveness of the drivers. Obviously, you've still got the team and manufacturer issues where they're supporting certain drivers over other ones.
Yeah, of course.
Let's say.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual talent levels and pace levels, it's really competitive at the minute.
You think next season you're going to have SVG, who's working ovals out very quickly, and everyone should be a little bit worried.
He got his first top 10 in the oval, didn't he?
Yeah, the road course side of things, no one can get near him, but there's someone coming who can.
Yeah.
In Connor Zilic, who's obviously got his cup ride for next year. Connor, we already know, is great on ovals. Then you throw in the likes of the Larsons, the Blaney's, the Laganos, the usual, the Hamlins, the Bells. And these two young upstarts coming in, well, not SVG's not young, but young to the sport. I think next season's going to be awesome.
Yeah, should be really, really good.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, to the two people that are still listening, that's going to be really good in 26.
It is. It's going to be amazing.
And it's really good in the UK as well with the coverage that we're getting in terms of we get to watch all 3 days of racing when there's 3 days of racing.
Yes.
Live is really good as well. So
I think it's not confirmed. Obviously, Premier Sports have it at the minute. I think it goes to Amazon Prime. I really do. It's already on Prime in the US. In the US, I think they expand that to Europe, and I think if you have Amazon Prime and you get a chance to watch NASCAR, go for it because it will take up 3 or 4 hours of your life. And you'll be wondering what the hell's going on. Matt Holman at the start of the season, we had to explain.
It was like, what?
It's like, what is going on? But it's worth a watch. Same with IndyCar. If you've got Sky Sports F1, go and watch IndyCar because I know you like IndyCar, Ben. Yeah. I'm not. I call it clumsy F1, but I know you like it. There is some good American sport out there, and then obviously for anyone who is wanting to watch a bit more motorsport outside of your F1 and your touring cars and things. Go on to IMSA.tv. You can watch IMSA races for free, which is great if you like, prototypes and GT racing. Obviously, WEC is behind a paywall, so we don't talk about that. Apart from Le Mans,
I really don't appreciate WEC being behind a paywall because it makes it very difficult to watch when you can go and watch Petit Le Mans last weekend.
Brilliant.
And I watched a lot of it.
Yes.
And they managed to keep it out of the walls for the most part and didn't have too many interruptions, which was better than. What was I watching? Road America, where the first 2 hours had about 15 minutes of running in it, which was a bit of a joke. So, WEC, sort yourselves out. Get out of that.
Yes, please
be more visible, for God's sake, because
especially
got you beat.
Hit your YouTube channels. GT World Challenge on YouTube. You can watch any kind of racing. Every weekend has some racing on. Even to things like the V8 supercars you can watch, which I don't know if you watched the Bathurst 1000 was ridiculous, by the way.
Absolutely, one of the best races I think that goes down as best race of the season in any motorsport. So if you haven't watched, if you haven't watched any of it yet, go and watch the extended highlights. It's on YouTube. It's about 40 minutes of the Bathurst 1000, and that last 10 laps is absolutely insane. Go and
support your club racing as well. I will say, every club race or support race for British touring cars and stuff, they all have their own channels on YouTube and they all show the races. So if you like Ginetta racing, go to Ginetta TV and go and watch your Ginnies. They support the British GT and stuff. They've all got channels. Go and watch some racing. Go and support your club racing. You'll find something you like to watch. And then come and ask us some questions about it. We'll happily talk to you.
And one final thing is, well done to De Leon. Did you see about this? De Leon's gone off from his first season in touring cars and is off on the Porsche Juniors, is it?
Right,
So he's a Porsche Academy. That's what it is. So big shout out to him, because him and Rainford have been excellent this season in the touring cars. And I know we talked about touring cars, but we didn't really cover that bit. De Leon has been rapid in qualifying, especially. He was pole at Brands before the
Just
end of
used
the
us
issue.
in the race.
Yeah, well, to be fair, his car broke in the first race. He has had a win. He's been excellent, especially since he got put in the BMW. So big shout out to him for doing the Porsche Academy stuff as well. So yeah, loads going on. And now we enter silly season with a lot of planning for next season for a lot of these series. So
So it'd be really
prepare yourself for us talking about that over the next couple of months.
Absolutely. And when we're coming to the end of real life racing season as well. So the next few podcasts will be mainly focusing on community stuff, mainly focusing on sim racing in general and all the things that go with it. So we'll be back in a few weeks with our next one. And until then, go and enjoy your racing. Respect your stewards.
Yeah.
Respect your
Stay off
stewards.
Reddit.
Stay off Reddit. Don't listen to Jimmy Broadbent. It's full of shit.
I didn't say that.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you all again next time. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.